Yeah, it was a challenge for sure. As poorly as we did, I think we gave ourselves a chance to win.
We just got to be better around them, and that's my impressions from just watching it without looking at the tape.
I just watched Bo Nix take it in the chops over and over and over again. And then once he would throw it to a receiver, they would be just put right down on the ground. Seattle outlasts Denver, but there's a lot to like about Bo Nix. I got a lot of, did you watch this game? Oh. Are you serious? Broncos fans were livid with me.
After Bo Nix had a pretty bad week one, I've already heard Broncos fans panicking. But guys, it was just one game. It was his first real game. Yes, he played in the preseason, but preseason doesn't really count. The defenses you go up against are very basic defenses because defensive coordinators don't really want to show anything to their first several opponents. They don't want them to be able to go back to preseason film to figure out what kind of schemes they're going to want to run this year. So how good was Bo Nix realistically in week one? Are there things to look forward to in the coming weeks? Are there things that he did really well? Well, I did break it down on film. I did a couple of film breakdowns. I did a film breakdown of the good things he did. I did a film breakdown of the bad things he did in week one. Before we get to that, be sure to like and subscribe to help the channel grow and turn on those notifications so that you don't miss an upload. Bo Nix looked fine, okay? I'm not saying he looked great. He didn't. I'm not saying he looked terrible. I don't think he looked terrible either. I don't think that'd be a fair way to describe how he did. I don't think he lived up to his full potential, but it was his first game. In Peyton Manning's rookie season, did you know that he threw 26 touchdowns? And you know how many interceptions he threw? 28. Still the most all-time of any rookie in history. No rookie quarterback has ever thrown more than 28 interceptions. Hell, in Manning's first game alone, he threw 3 interceptions. Bo Nix had 2, so I guess by that logic, Bo Nix is off to a good start. There were some good things with Bo Nix. There were definitely some things to work on for Bo Nix. And we're not going to know what kind of a quarterback he is until we give him some time to watch the film, to learn himself, to make adjustments, see how that goes over the course of a season. And maybe it takes a full season, full off season, and then it takes into next season before we finally see some progress for Bo Nix. So Broncos fans, I don't think you should feel discouraged just because he lost to my Seahawks this week. By the way, in Peyton Manning's second season, he led the Broncos to a 13-3 record, second overall in the AFC. But getting back to Bo Nix, there were some good things he did in week one. Here's the film breakdown. On this first play here, Bo Nix takes off for the scramble, does a great job of keeping his eyes downfield. He's got great anticipation for where his guy's going to be. Gets to him for a gain of 14. On this one, Bo does a great job of looking off the safety. He sees the safety going in, so he knows he's got the one-on-one to the outside with the corners back to him. Tosses the ball up and just lets his guy go up and get it. On this play here, everything goes wrong. Everybody's covered. The pocket collapses. So what do you do if you're the Broncos? You need your receiver to pull the Seahawks defender with him, open up the running lane, and give Bo Nix space to go run and get that first down. Right here, as you see, receiver runs upfield. Seahawks defender doesn't even realize that Bo Nix took off to run until it's too late. And then, of course, we had to include the Bo Nix touchdown. Once again, a very similar situation in the sense that the entire pocket broke down. Bo Nix does a great job of getting outside of it. And at this point, you know what? If I got the touchdown, you got to take the touchdown. So great job at Bo Nix on that one. So I'm not looking to turn to Zach Wilson just yet. I'm not looking to turn to Jarrett Stidham just yet. If I'm the Broncos, by any means, it's still early. It's still premature to pull a plug, pull a trigger, anything like that. Obviously, Bo's still your guy in Broncos country. You're going to keep riding with him. He does have some things that he could improve on as well. All right, so on this play, we've got a run. He rolls out to the right. He's got a wide open guy downfield. He's got to keep his eyes downfield here so that he can complete that pass. I mean, it works out okay. He ends up, not losing yards at least. On this one, we've got the interception. You can't throw this ball here. It's a double coverage, and he's got a guy underneath. He probably should have just taken the check down in this situation. You can't afford to give the ball back to Seahawks when you're that on their side of the field. And then on this one, we got the second interception. This one's so ugly because you've got 1, 2, 3 Seahawks defenders all in the area. They're all going to end up in that X area right there. And boom, easy interception for Seattle.
Nix. Oh, no. Has all day, but it's intercepted.
So bad that the color announcer said, oh no, when he threw it. Now, I didn't see a better option for him on this play, but he also had time in the pocket. He didn't have to make the throw at that point in time. He probably should have just held on to the ball a little bit longer or at least thrown it away to live another down. At that point in the game, the Broncos were still very much in it and could have potentially come back to win on that drive. Looking ahead, the Broncos are going to be hosting the Steelers on Sunday, and okay, that offense, and it's going to be a tough test for a young Bo Nix because Steelers defense looked damn good in week 1. They got a few sacks on Kirk Cousins back there in a hurry. They got a couple of interceptions. Now, the Broncos defense, on the other hand, they might have a little bit of a better outing. You know, the Steelers offense didn't look great. They didn't even score a touchdown. They did enough to win the game. And I think that you got to account for Justin Fields. Justin Fields is one of those players who he can make electric plays out of nowhere. By the way, it is looking like Justin Fields is going to get the start. Mike Tomlin announced today that Fields is taking the starter reps while Russell Wilson is recovering from a calf injury, which is kind of a shame in the sense that, Russell Wilson was looking for his opportunity to have, a second revenge game. His first revenge game didn't go so well when he came back to Seattle for the first time in his first game as a Denver Bronco, and he got booed coming into the stadium, and he ultimately lost the game. So I think he was looking forward to a new revenge game, although it's kind of hard to be mad at the organization that gave you like $200+ million. Broncos fans are pretty much inevitably going to boo Russell Wilson when he comes into that stadium, whether he's playing or not. And you can't really blame them. Broncos fans are frustrated because, look, your team traded Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, and a slew of picks, including a 2022 first that turned into Charles Cross, a 2022 second that turned into Boye Mafe, a 2022 fifth that turned into Tyreek Smith, a 2023 first that turned into Devin Witherspoon, and a 2023 second that turned into Derek Hall. All of that in exchange for Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick that turned into Enyoma Uwazurike. To add salt to that wound, the Broncos decided to give Russell Wilson a 5-year, $242 million contract before he even played a single down of football for them, despite the fact, by the way, that he still had 2 years remaining on his contract from Seattle. All of that to just let Russ cook in the worst season of his career in 2022. The Broncos obviously hoped that things would get better with Russ in 2023 when they brought in Sean Payton, but it seems like Payton and Wilson had issues from the jump. Reportedly in training camp, Payton actually told Wilson at one point, "Will you fucking stop kissing all the babies? You're not running for public office." I guess, Payton's getting annoyed with Russell's mannerisms and the way he talks and everything. And then we all remember the sideline Saturday night ass chewing that Wilson got from Sean Payton on national television. Eventually, the Broncos did end up releasing Wilson, eating $85 million in dead cap, which is kind of hilarious. So yeah, deservedly or not, Broncos fans are going to be booing Wilson. But I do think that Broncos fans should remain optimistic about Bo Nix. Give him time. Hell, even if he sucks in this game, you're going up against a tough Steelers defense. Give him some time, guys.